Hello, Lodge Magician here, and today I'd like to talk to you about the planets in magical practice. Just like with my video on the signs, this is not going to be a lesson in astrology, although the information contained in here can be beneficial if you want to pursue studies in astrology. That's not what our goal is. We're looking at the effects of the planets in magical practices in this presentation. So like I said, we're going to be looking at astrology and the classical planets, along with the modern planets as well. But to start off with, there are 7 basic planets of the ancients, what we call the classical planets. These are the Sun, Mercury, Venus, the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. We will talk about each one of these as well as the other planets in this presentation. Each planet rules one or more signs. The energy of the planet is strong in the sign that it rules, and we call this the dignity. Each planet also has one sign where it expresses itself in a compatible fashion, and we call this the exaltation. This means that the energy of the sign and the energy of the planet are compatible and increase or intensify each other. The sign directly opposite the sign that the planet rules is its detriment. That means that when the planet is in the signs that are detriment, its effects are lessened. And in the sign directly opposite of the exaltation is the planet's fall. This is another example where the energies of the sign and the planet are clashing with one another. As I said, dignity and exaltation are harmonious to the planet's energy. Detriment and fall are contrary to the planet's energy. First, we'll look at Luna, or the moon. The moon rules Cancer. It is exalted in Taurus. Its detriment is Capricorn, and its fall is Scorpio. The moon represents the domestic, nurturing urge, and its key word is emotions. The moon embodies the primary female principle and governs women in general. It encompasses instincts, moods, feelings, habits, the subconscious. It controls the tides. It moves in phases. It's very reflexive and reflections. It governs alterations and receptivity. The moon rules needs, desires, personal interests, magnetism, liquids, impressionability, fertility, growth, and all cyclical phenomena. The moon's action changes and fluctuates just like the phases of the moon. Next, let's look at Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. It is exalted in Aquarius. Mercury's detriments are Sagittarius and Pisces, and its fall is Leo. Mercury represents intellectual and expressive urges, and its keyword is reasoning powers. Mercury governs communication, reason, intellect, rationalization, awareness, perceptions, opinions, transmission, words and speaking, writing, and all means of communication. It deals with family, children, siblings, social contracts, day-to-day activities, travel, and transportation. Mercury's action is rapid, unpredictable, and explosive. Next, let's look at Venus. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Its exaltation is Pisces. The detriment of Venus is Scorpio and Aries, and its fall is Virgo. Venus represents social urges and values, and its keyword is affection. It sometimes is known as the lesser benefic or lesser benefit. It governs pleasure, natural love, sensuality, social ability, attraction, interaction, art, music, poetry, drama, song and culture, beauty, possessions, jewelry, candy, sentiments and color, interpersonal relationships, marriage and unions, and social activities. The action of Venus is mild and harmonious. Next is the Sun. The Sun rules Leo. It is exalted in Aries. Its detriment is Aquarius, and its fall is Libra. The Sun represents the power urge, the ego, and the personality, and its key word is the inner self. The Sun is the primary masculine principle and works with men in general. The Sun is the fundamental expression of the individual, displaying qualities of success and leadership within oneself. The Sun governs health, vitality, personal development, energy, essential principles, authority and command, rank and office, title and achievement, identity, and the capacity for experience, personal and spiritual growth, the magical current, and also vanity and arrogance. The action of the Sun is energizing and stimulating. Next comes Mars. And Mars rules Aries, and it co-rules Scorpio. It is exalted in Capricorn. Its detriment is Libra and Taurus, and the fall of Mars is Cancer. Mars represents the aggressive urge, its initiative and action, and its key word is energy. It is sometimes referred to as the lesser malefic. Mars governs desires, sexual energies, focused energies, dynamic action, animal nature, force, power, ambition and strife, strain and adversity, work and achievement, completion, and death. It also rules weapons, war, accidents, violence, confrontation, surgery, tools, destruction, ruin, and anything of iron and steel. And the action of Mars is very sudden, forceful, and disruptive. And Mars can be used violently and destructive, or with valor and fortitude. So it doesn't have to be a bad sign or a bad planet. Next we come to Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and subrules Pisces. It is exalted in Cancer. The detriment of Jupiter is Gemini and Virgo, and its fall is Capricorn. Jupiter represents the compassionate and protective urge, and its keyword is expansion. And Jupiter is known as the greater benefic. Jupiter rules leisure time, wealth, growth, prosperity, opportunity, assimilation, indulgence, optimism, big business, morality, the higher, more abstract mind, higher education and ambitions, philosophy, but also intoxication with success, indulgence, and luck. The action of Jupiter is orderly and efficient, and it fosters growth and increase. And next we have Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn and subrules Aquarius. It is exalted in Libra. Its detriment is Cancer and Leo. And the fall of Saturn is Aries. Saturn represents security and the safety urge, and its keyword is the teacher. Saturn is also known as the greater malefic. And Saturn is also known as the taskmaster of the horoscope. It rules organization, discipline, responsibility, structure, stability, goals and careers, opportunities and limitations, obstacles and tests, conservatism, crystallized focus, restrictions, boundaries, delays, theories, orthodoxy, tradition, depth and time, patience and truth, wisdom, aging, delays, death, sorrow, and solidification. And the action of Saturn is slow and enduring. While looking at the classical planets, we also need to look at the nodes of the moon. Now, the nodes of the moon are the points where the moon crosses the ecliptic or the path of the sun. The northern node is also known as Caput Draconis, or head of the dragon, and it's a point of gain, increase, and added self-assurance. The southern node is known as Cauda Draconis, or the tail of the dragon, and it's a point of release, decrease, and letting go. And here you can see the 7 planets along with the days of the week and how they are coordinated together. There were 7 classical planets known to the ancients, and they each corresponded to one of the days of the week, as you can see here. You can also see where the names of some of the days of the week come from. I mean, Sunday is easy, that's the day of the sun or sol. Monday is the day of the moon, so those are easy. Tuesday is Tuesday, which was related to the Norse god Tyr. Wednesday, or Woden's Day, was related to Wotan. Thursday, which was Thor's Day, was related to Thor. And Frigga, or Friday, is related to Freya. Now, you may be asking, what about the other 3 planets? Because now we know that there are more planets than just the classical 7. Well, they're not used a lot in Western ceremonial magic, but we will talk about them. Uranus was first discovered on March 13th, 1782, Neptune on September 24th, 1846, and Pluto on January the 21st, 1930. And as these planets did not have a place in the original group of 7 planets, they were not included in many of the Western mystery traditions. Now, some traditions, since they have been discovered, have started to include them more, and they are certainly included in modern astrology. But in the classical workings and the workings of the Western mystery tradition, you won't find them as prevalent as you will the classical planets. They're also known as the transcendental planets because they take so long to move from one sign to another. And like I said, they're mentioned here because they are used in modern astrology, even though we don't make much use of them in Western mystery traditions. Caput Draconis was said to be similar to the energies of Neptune, and Cauda Draconis is supposed to be similar to the energies of Uranus. So let's look at Uranus. It rules Aquarius with the subruler of Saturn. Its exaltation is Scorpio. Its detriment is Leo. And its fall is Taurus. Uranus represents the freedom urge, or the divine disconnect. Its keyword is the awakener. Uranus rules science, electricity, lightning, strokes of genius, suddenness, magic, the occult, astrology, X-rays, inventions, discoveries, originality, and psychology. It is intellectual, progressive, futuristic, humanitarian, egotistical, rebellious, eccentric, unorthodox, unconventional, and utopian. And Uranus rules sudden change, individualism, independence, autonomy, and natural disasters. Uranus is considered to be an upper octave of Mercury, or a higher vibration of Mercury. And its action is sudden, unforeseen, and usually violent. Next, we'll look at Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces, along with the subruler Jupiter. And Neptune has no exaltation, therefore it also has no fall. The detriment of Neptune is Virgo. Neptune represents spiritual or the escapist urge, and the key word is intuition. Neptune rules liquids, all marine activities, glamour, the stage, movies and television, the fantastic, dreams and psychic powers, intuition, delusion, mystique, spirituality, ideals, things that we take for granted, fog and mystery, intangibles, immateriality, fragrances and trances, drugs and addictions, hypnosis and sleepwalking. And Neptune is said to be an upper octave of Jupiter. The action of Neptune is subtle, imperceptible, and sometimes insidious. And finally, we have Pluto. Pluto rules Scorpio, along with the co-ruler of Mars. and its detriment is Taurus. It has no exaltation or fall. Pluto represents fusion, destroying or reforming urges, and its key word is transformation. Pluto governs all things secret or hidden from view, such as the subconscious mind. It rules replication, conception, generation and regeneration, degeneration, birth and death, beginnings and endings, bacteria, viruses, slow growth and turmoil, rejuvenation, transfiguration, reorganization, phobias and obsessions, subversion, atomic power, crime, exposure, isolation, perspective, awareness of the masses, covert activities, and the exclusive. It's said to be a higher octave of Mars, and its action is slow, ponderous, and inescapable. And here we have a chart of the planets along with their dignities, detriments, exaltations, and falls. And it would be good for you to familiarize yourself with this chart. Be familiar which planets are dignified or exalted in which signs, and where their detriment or their fall is. And we will use this a lot in our magical practice. Especially with the classical planets. Like I said, those are the primary ones that we use in the Western mystery traditions. And we want to work with them when they're in their dignity or their exaltation, and try to avoid working with them when they're in their detriment or their fall. So I'd like to thank you for joining me for this presentation on the planets. And we will be talking about how we actually put this knowledge along with the knowledge of the science into use in later videos. At the moment, we're just covering basic information and knowledge that you need to be familiar with. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And if you have any questions or comments, please comment them below, put them in below, and I'll try to get them answered as quickly as possible. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.